Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about the next poem, Animals. Now, this Animals poem is written by Walt Whitman. Now, Walt Whitman, from 1819 to 92, is a major figure in early American poetry. In an age when all poetry was rhymed and metrical means rhyme scheme was used. Metrical means poetic devices, many poetic devices were used. Whitman made a break with tradition and wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry. So he made a break with the tradition means so far all the poem have been written only by what poetic device like that in order using punctuational marks all this, but now he broke that and he formed a new tradition, that is wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry in free verses. Free verses means there will not be much of anything, and he was I mean the poetic devices all that will not be much there in that. And here free, and he was a non-conformist in all as respects including his social life. So he was also like his freestyle a free man. So in this poem Animals, the poet Walter Whitman praises animals for being better than human beings and for possessing all such qualities that human lack or have forgotten. So animals are having so many qualities which are far better than humans, it seems. So, those qualities are calmness, the lack of greed, and the ability to stay happy and contained among others. So, the poet wants to live among animals and experience a life where no one complains and where they are free of sins and sorrows. Animals are free from sin and sorrow and they do not complain. So, the most important theme of the poem is not to praise how good animals are, but to compare humans with them in order to highlight the flaws of their nature. Flaws means false. The poet believes that probably a very long time ago humans possessed all these qualities mentioned above, that is calmness, no greed, and means sins and sorrows are always there, but they have not now lost them, but now it is lost. Means as the generation increases, as the generation changes, according to our Walt Whitman, he says now human beings are lacking all these things and animals are only far more better than the human beings. So in this poem he talks about animals in a very nice and in a free hand style he has written this poem. And here the central thing is, this is the central idea of the poem. I told you how human beings are lacking the good qualities which animals are having. Then the summary will be, and here, see, the poet tells us that he feels more at home with animals. The meaning is he is comfortable with animals than human beings because they don't repent or they don't cry. They don't do any sins and they are not repenting over that, and they do not cry like that, like human beings. And all night they do not stay awake and asking forgiveness from God, but they are in a proper way. Means the whole world is theirs. Animals are feeling that the whole world is. You can see many street dogs, street animals, they don't bother about anybody. Lavishly, coolly, calmly, they'll be going around as they like, wherever they want. And nobody, they are free of sins. They don't sin. They don't know what is sin. Maybe human beings also indulged in that idea also. The poet says, even if an animal is going to sin, that will be because of the force of the forcement or the enforcement of the human beings for the animal to do, because they are using animals in so many fields. Like this the poet is explaining very in a vast idea, everything, each and everything has been explained. Now about the poet, I told you he is a revolutionary poet, means he has brought a new verse of writing poetry, a free hand poetry. And the poem Animals is from his Song of Myself, means he has done with the Song of Myself. It's a collection of so many poems. In Leaves of Grass is the great book he has written. In that, from the book he has taken from the part of Song of Myself a small piece, that is this animal poem. And see, he broke the tradition of rhymed and metrical poetry. I told you all that he has done. And he was the first poet, first American poet to bring a free style of writing in the form of poetry. Here in this poem there is no, you can notice children, there is no much poetic device, there is no rhyme scheme, only you have alliterations will be there here and there, and here and there you will have some personification. Other than that, nothing is seen, and no repetition, nothing. So it is a new style of writing poetry, but it contains many inner meaning in it. This poem contains many inner meaning in it. So in board exam you might have questions like, how can you compare the human qualities with that of animals according to Walt Whitman, or what is Walt Whitman's idea about humans and animals, how does he compare in his poem. So like this we will get different kinds of questions, so we should be able to answer for that. Now, sorry, here we'll get into the poem. That's what I told you, the summary of the poem is he's talking about everything. I'll get into the poem. The poet tells us that he feels more at home with animals than humans, whom he finds complicated and false. Means these people are very complicated and they have much of false character. Complicated means you cannot understand a human being's character. That is why he is saying they are complicated and they are very false beings. Falsely they are leading their life. See here, I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. That means he prefers to live with animals rather than human beings. And he is placid means very calm and does not get angry. Animals are very calm and they does not get any angry. And self-contained means to oneself. They separate without outside resource or help. They don't get help from anybody. They are separate and they are living a contented life. They don't want this, they don't want that, like that. I stand and look at them long and long. So he's standing and looking at this animals. He's stunned and he's seeing so much of difference and he is surprised to see that. So they do not sweat and whine about their condition. What is sweat? Sweating by hard work. They also sweat, but it is not seen out. And whine is high pitched, long, unpleasant noise. They don't cry like human beings, it seems. Crying, whining means crying in a long, unpleasant noise, and they do not do this. Dogs or cats or any other animal will not do that, and they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Unlike human beings, they don't be awake at night and they are not weeping, crying over the sins they do, because they never do sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. And he's saying, and human beings, they used to stand in groups and discuss about the duties they are doing to God. They don't what today they don't realize their duty. So like that, animals don't have any groupism, which he doesn't like. So not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. So not one is dissatisfied means all animals are satisfied. There is not even one single animal which is not, which is not satisfied with anything they get. They will eat anywhere, they will walk anywhere, with any other animal they'll become friends, like this. And they don't bother about anything in this world as much as human beings are. And they are not demented means mental illness. One type of mental illness is called demented. So they are saying mania means buying things. Okay, enjoy or spend lot of time on it. So they don't spend lot of time and enjoying on things and wasting time of owning things means buying this. Human beings, we have greed. We want this, we want that. I want to buy this, I want to buy that, all that. But animals, they don't have. That is where when they don't have the wish, when they don't have the curiosity to possess things, then where they will have demented illness. So they don't have. That's what he is saying. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Beautiful line. So he's saying human beings, they will do sins. They, to the elders, sometimes they'll go and kneel in front of them, folding their hands, they will ask apology. But animals are not like that because they are not sinners. So, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago means they don't know to respect even their elders, it seems. Means they don't have to. They move friendly with everybody and they don't have to go on their knees and then ask apology or ask anything, blessings or anything like that from their elders. 1,000 years ago means previously. I mean, many generations before. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So, not one is respectable or unhappy. So, if you that person did not give me respect, this person did not bother me. All these silly qualities only human beings are having, according to Walt Whitman. So, he is saying that they are not bothered about giving respect, taking respect. So, always they are happy and they feel that the whole earth is for them and God has created them to enjoy the whole earth. No, so they show their relations to me and I accept them. So he's saying I'm showing my relationship to them and they accept my love and they are faithful to me and they are friendly with me. So they bring me tokens of myself. That means they are bringing tokens of myself means they were always with me. What I give, they give back. If I love them, they'll be very faithful with me. If I chase them, they'll run away. Like that, the tokens, all the love they are showering back. They evince means showing feeling or quality, often indirectly. Them plainly in their possessions believe something is true. So whatever you do, the animals are intended to believe that. So truly, they'll think everything to be true. So one day you will pet them, the other day, if you're angry, you will kick them. But they take everything in an easy manner. Again, like the ball which bounces on the wall, they come back to you for your love. Okay, so them plainly in their positions. They bring me tokens of myself, means they show love and affection to me as I show to them, and them plainly, whatever we show, whatever we do for them, what they are doing, they'll accept it as their possessions, means as their own. I wonder where they got those tokens. So I am wondering from where they got all these qualities. Tokens means qualities. And I passed that way huge times ago and negligently dropped them. So he's saying so many times, many thousands of times, I've been crossing so many animals, but how I forgot so long to understand them, and dropping them means I least bother. See, when we walk on the road, we don't take care of all the animals on the road. We don't bother to, if they are standing, we don't know if they are hunger or if they are having any illness. We just ignore them, neglect them, and go away. Like that, the poet says, so far he has been neglecting them, and now only he has understood the interior meaning, the interior quality of this animals, and he has given you as a poetry here named animals. So he is saying the central theme of the idea of this poem is all the good qualities only animals are having. It means they are not sinners, they don't cry, sweat, and wean over things, they are not dismented. All important words are given in between, which you have to take and form the qualities of animals. Or one more question about Walt Whitman's poem. Select the important words and give in your own words the qualities of animals. Means you have to give sweat and wine, young veins, plainly, all these words you have to take and give a report, a detailed description about animal qualities. Hope you understood the summary of the poem.